Hello everyone, my name is Andrew, and welcome to another episode of From Pong To Pixels. If you remember a couple episodes ago, I actually had a few people on to help me cover some topics. Well, after I told them some of the games we'll be covering today, they wanted to come back on. Well, today I'm actually only joined by Quinn, as you saw in episode 3. Quinn, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, very good.
Yep, and Carlos could not make it today, unfortunately. So the first game I'll talk about, the most popular game, I'd say, that sold the most copies was Minecraft, released in 2011. So Minecraft is just a sandbox game where you just collect various resources in order to defeat the final boss called the Ender Dragon. You've probably heard of it, considering it's the most popular game with the most copies sold. So, Quinn, do you have anything you want to say about Minecraft?
Yeah, I grew up playing Minecraft. I remember the first time I saw it, it was on my older brother's phone. And I still sometimes even play it nowadays, which is kind of crazy.
Because there's just so many different things you can do in it to you just never, it doesn't really end, as you say. Sure, you can defeat the final boss, but it's an infinite game.
You can build whatever you want and you can just keep moving. That's
definitely one of the factors to why it got so many copies, because it just has infinite amount of things you can do.
And you can play with friends and
multiplayer and stuff. It's servers. So, and then I want to talk about this one. This is personally one of my favorite games, Super Mario Galaxy. Now, the first one came out a couple years before, but Super Mario Galaxy 2 actually came out in 2010. And I have a lot of nostalgia with this game when I played it with my father a long time ago. It was one of my favorite Mario games, if not my favorite. And I recently got a Wii to replay it, so that was a very nice experience for me to go back and play some of my childhood games.
Wait, I also played that game with my dad.
Really?
I'm not kidding. I've only played it once, and that was with my dad when I was really, really young.
Oh yeah, it was such a good game.
Yeah.
I got so far, but one of the last levels I just couldn't get past. It was the Daredevil stuff. You remember one heart?
Where you do the? I think I kind of remember that.
Yeah, it was on the very last world.
It's fuzzy because it was literally so long ago.
Yeah, but that is definitely by far one of my favorite games. Just not even just by nostalgia. After replaying it, it's a really good. The levels are unique and stuff. It is just a really good game in general. The next game to talk about is GTA 5 or Grand Theft Auto 5. So Quinn, do you want to summarize this one?
So everybody's probably heard of Grand Theft Auto, and it's pretty notorious for being very crude and inappropriate for parents, and a lot of times parents wouldn't want their kids playing that. There's tons of news articles and situations where parents are angry because of the stuff that's in it, because there's violence and a lot of sexual things, and it's just it's a game about committing crime in LA, and some people really don't like that. It took a lot to get that kind of thing to stop, but nowadays it's kind of a household name, and it's finally getting a sequel after more than a decade.
GTA 6, Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out 2025.
Hopefully.
So yeah, hopefully Rockstar wants to follow through with that. It's just Grand Theft Auto is one of the most popular household games, like you said, and although it was controversial, I haven't really played it that much, never really got into it, but I do recommend, if you're old enough, which you probably should be.
Yeah, I'm definitely old enough.
Yeah, and the podcast listeners, if they're old enough, definitely recommend getting it. Is there there's missions and stuff? Is it an open world?
So yeah, it's an open world, and there's an online game mode where you can play with friends and junk, but it's completely separate. There's a main story where you follow these 3 different characters who are all pretty much a different archetype of a criminal, and the story is takes 80 hours to complete, but it's really good. It's a movie. It's really good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. So I definitely recommend, if you want a long story and I'm assuming a good story, then definitely recommend get GTA 5. And in 2025, you get Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, the next game, Quinn, you want to talk about this one?
Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's. Now that's a name that I know well. I'm a Freddy guy,
Bit of a Fazbear.
A little bit. Okay. So this came out, Five Nights at Freddy's is a game that came out in 2014, developed by one person whose name is Scott Cawthon. And its actual backstory is pretty interesting because Scott Cawthon was going to quit Like, he was not financially stable at the time. He worked at a Dollar General.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And, yeah, he worked at, like, a Dollar General in Texas. And he would develop games just for his family and friends. But when critics would, like, bomb on them and say the characters look like scary animatronics, like from Chuck E. Cheese. Mm-hmm. So he took that idea and he made a horror game about working at, like, a Chuck E. Cheese pizzeria knockoff and protecting yourself in a security office from animatronics that are trying to, like, kill you.
Was that first game the one with, like, the, like, chipmunk thing?
Chipmunk.
I think it was like a beaver, an otter or something.
Oh,
have you seen that?
Yeah, Chipper.
Yeah, that one.
Chippers and Sons or whatever. Yeah, that was his game he made before it, and that's the game that got criticized that led him to make Five Nights at Freddy's.
Because I've seen that before, and that's what I thought it was, but just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, he made that right before that. And the game was really interesting because it would get, like, a sequel. It got sequels so quick. Like, the second game came out after months. Like, not even a year after the first one, and it got so much popularity. And nowadays, he's retired from working on the series, but the movie, they just got, like, an actual movie with Josh Hutcherson and everything.
Was that his, like, final, like, thing, FNAF related?
He doesn't, like, he'll oversee projects, I think, but he doesn't really, like...
I've seen, like, Help Wanted 2 is coming out soon. Yeah. So, like, is he, like, overseeing that?
Maybe, but he might not even be that over... Like, I think he said... that he has, like, 5 kids, dude. He said he just wants to focus on his family.
That makes sense.
From all that. Yeah. I get that. He's been doing it for, like, 10 years now, so.
Like, imagine, like, just, like, the amount of, like, money he's made from, like, movies, games, merchandise. Yeah. Like, it might not go directly to him, but just in general, the FNAF franchise has made so much money. It's gotten with figures and merchandise.
Oh, yeah, it's got some crazy, like, merchandising.
Oh, yeah. I even bought, like, a couple FNAF things. They're, like,
I probably did.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of sequels, and said the movie came out by Blumhouse. It was, if you haven't seen it already, it was really good. Came out almost 2 months ago.
Dang, really?
Yeah, I think I saw like 77.
Came out on my birthday.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. I wish we could have all went to seen it.
Yeah.
So the next game is called Undertale. It was developed by Toby Fox and released in 2015. I personally have never completed a run of anything in this game before. It's giving me a surprised look. I've never completed a full run, but I've watched like a lot of gameplay of it and seen a bunch of stuff. It is a really good game. One of the most popular indie games ever. Have you an experience with Undertale?
Dude, when I was really young, I was like an Undertale nerd. Not like I wasn't like one of those guys. I don't like dress up as the characters. But like I played the game like 6 times, and I haven't really played it in a couple years. But back when I was into it, I was really into it. I thought it was good. Have you
defeated Sans before?
No, I tried. I gave up, dude. I didn't have that willpower. I think I was like probably like 10 or something. I think I started like crying, dude.
No, that's understandable. One of like the hardest fights I've heard.
Yeah, he's trolling me.
So yeah, Undertale, just a quick summary. It's like you play as the main character Frisk that fell into the underground, and you just have to fight various monsters or spare them to make your way out of the underground. Yeah. And all I know is like Asgore is the main, like, not antagonist, I guess. He's just like the main guy, kind of.
The thing about it, that's like the whole point, the big thing with the game is you're able to either kill like all the enemies you see, or you could spare them and not like hurt anybody, and he kind of like judges you for that, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of the main point of it.
And he wanted to collect like I think it was 7 or 8 souls, and like you were like the last one he needed, and you could either have the chance to spare him or kill him. Yeah. So Undertale's a really good. It's an RPG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good indie RPG, and I'm sure you've seen stuff about it. So if you haven't checked that out, I definitely recommend checking it out. The style and gameplay and story is just really well made. So shout out to Toby Fox, one of the best. So Super Mario Odyssey is another Mario game that came out in 2017, and it is a huge Mario game. Like the kingdoms and the story is just like a huge open world game, and I used to play it all the time when it first came out in 2017, 2018. I like 100%ed it like 3 times or something, like every moon. It is such a good game. It's just like, it takes the original Mario recipe but puts a spin on it. to where Bowser kidnaps Peach, but this time he wants to marry her, and he goes all the way to the moon to try to take her. So I really like this game. The story and the objectives are really unique, and I've used to play it all the time. Have you ever 100%ed it before or played it?
I mean, I've beaten it. I don't know about 100%ing it. But...
yeah, it takes a lot of time to 100%. It is a really good game. All the purple coins and like it brings back all the stuff from some old Mario games, which was nice to see. I'd recommend if you're a fan of Mario, and you've probably played it, but if you haven't got it, I definitely recommend. One of the best 3D Mario games in my opinion.
Yeah. So in 2017, alongside Mario Odyssey, another game came out, which is Zelda Breath of the Wild. And kind of in the same vein as what Odyssey did, it took like the original Zelda formula and it like expanded it like a lot. Because you're pretty much like in this big open world where you can just literally like do anything you want. Like there's a final boss you have to fight, and like the moment you start it, you could go and kill the final boss if you want to, if you're like good enough, I guess.
It's like you don't have to like complete all the story. But
no, there is a story.
Yeah,
you can, if you're like that good, I guess you technically can go kill it, but you'd have to be like really good to do that.
Didn't Breath of the Wild win the Game of the Year one year?
I
think it did.
I probably did, yeah.
And the Game of the Year awards just came out, like I think a couple days ago, maybe even a week ago. And the winner of that was Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I actually have never seen much gameplay of this or heard about it, but I'm assuming, I think you have?
I mean, I've never played it. It doesn't really look that interesting. I haven't, like, been super into, like, new games and stuff that's coming out lately. Mm-hmm. But from what I've seen, it's based off of, like, Dungeons and Dragons, I think. I don't know, but I don't know much about that.
Yeah, I've heard, like, apparently it was really good to win the Game of the Year, but, you know, respect to it. Like, some, like, Spider-Man games were on there, but, like, it kind of was too recent, I think, to win Game of the Year. It came out, like, last month or 2 months ago or something, so I haven't really had time to play it. But back to Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, open world game, and if you're a fan of Zelda and just a fan of Nintendo in general, you've probably seen it, but if you don't have it or if you haven't bought it, I definitely recommend to play it. I should probably play it sometime soon. My friend wants me to. So one of the most popular, if not the most, Battle Royale game was also released in 2017 called Fortnite. Fortnite was originally a save the world game where the main objective was to save the world, I guess against like monsters and stuff. I never got into that, really. I know you had to like pay to get in, but my friends that have played it, they said it had a good story and stuff. So, but the main part of it that got popular was the Battle Royale aspect, which I think was released a couple months, maybe a year later after Save the World. And it was just like, it was really good. Like the graphics were unique and like nobody had ever really seen something like it before. And after like more and more people decided to play it, just the more popular it got. So, you want to talk about your history with Fortnite?
I mean, I remember the first time I played it, it was like free, so I just downloaded it when I was like in like 5th grade, and then I didn't know what was going on, so I died instantly.
No, yeah.
But it's crazy how nowadays it is like, it's like
it kind of like revived itself. Like it did like go really like kind of down at one point, like a couple like years ago, but now like with the introduction of like the old map returning and a new season coming out, like all these new game modes, it's kind of getting a bit more popular now, which was nice to see. I've been playing it a lot recently too. Yeah. But yeah, Fortnite was a really popular Battle Royale game. I'd say like had a lot of players, like 2018, like all back then.
I mean, nowadays you can like see how many people are like playing the specific game mode. And I remember the other day when the new season or whatever came out, I got on it and I looked at the players and there was 900,000 people playing like one specific game mode. Like that's not even everybody who was playing it at once.
No, yeah, it became really popular now, which is nice to see again. Like after they brought back the old stuff and like introduced new stuff, like it's just been a lot of people wanted to come back to it and check it out because after the old map returned, a lot of people that haven't played it since like 2018 wanted to come back and see because that's what they were used to, you know. So it was really, really nice to see the becoming popular again. And yeah, that's it. So Quinn, it was nice having you on for another episode.
Thank you for
Maybe if Carlos is here, can get on this time, might get him back on.
That would be good.
So alright, thank you guys for listening. This has been another episode of From Pong to Pixels, and I will see you guys next time. This is your host Andrew, signing off.